best entertainment on the earth. Tune in for Comics with Perch.
Hey everybody, this is Perch. Have you ever made a mistake? And we all have, right? You do something, you think you found your heart's desire, you think you're making a big stand for something, you feel really good about a decision, only to regret it almost immediately afterward. Maybe you're in a comic book and you fall in love with your weird alien son Marcus and marry him and fly off into the stars, only to realize it's a terrible decision. It's going to set you back quite a ways, particularly since you are a feminist icon. Maybe you trade your marriage to the devil in exchange for your old, annoying aunt that really doesn't do anything except embarrass you by hitting on your archenemy. Hell, maybe you try and save your love who's falling to her death off a bridge, only to snap her neck because you really don't understand velocity, even though you were a science student. Well, a lot of things can be done on the spur of the moment, and then you regret them later. Like, saw this guy on the bus once. He had a tattoo on his face. You could tell that was a mistake. And that's why tattoo removal is a valuable, important service that not a lot of people know about. They don't know how it works. They don't know about some of the risks. Tattoo removal can take a number of different forms. Laser surgery. Tattoo ink is basically placed beneath the top layer of the skin. That makes tattoo removal more complicated and expensive than you think. Well, you may pay $400, $500, maybe several $1,000s for a tattoo. The removal is most likely going to be far more costly. Something that was done on the spur of the moment, something that maybe you just felt like was a big, bold stand. Now, an unwanted reminder of something that never really came to pass can cost you significantly more than you imagine. A good skin doctor, a dermatologist, can help you out about removing tattoos. Some people have tried to remove them on their own. You've seen YouTube videos of people using sandpaper, trying to burn it off with heat. That's just going to cause scarring. You're going to look even weirder. It's not good. If you are about to get your tattoo removed, as I mentioned, consult a dermatologist. They'll explain your different options. They'll explain what's most likely to work. But be prepared for a big bill and a long period of time. Tattoos just don't come off. It's often done over several courses. It is an outpatient procedure. It's not surgery as you're used to. You can use local anesthesia on the area. And in general, I want to talk through the various tattoo removal options. Now, at this point, by the way, in the video, you may be wondering, why am I doing this? And all I can say is, just hang in there. Just give me a few more minutes. One form of tattoo removal, laser surgery, basically releases energy in a single powerful pulse. This is the most common laser removal format. It is expensive. Uses a special type of laser called a Q-switched laser. And this laser, the benefit to it is it doesn't alter the skin's pigmentation too radically. The skin is numbed with local anesthetic. The powerful pulse of energy is applied to the tattoo to heat and then ultimately shatter the tattoo ink under the skin. Multicolored tattoos may need multiple laser treatments with different wavelengths. Now, what's going to happen afterward is your skin is going to become puffy. It's going to swell. It may blister, probably will bleed. You get some antibacterial ointment to promote the healing. And you will need several sessions to ultimately lighten and remove the tattoo. And even then, it may not be entirely possible to erase the tattoo. Some people go for surgery. Okay, surgery is where basically the tattoo is removed with a scalpel. They literally cut away your skin, and then they stitch the edges back together. Unfortunately, it does leave scarring, which can, in effect, still look like the tattoo you had, depending on what you had. There's dermabrasion, and this is where the tattoo area is chilled until it's numb, and then the skin is actually sanded down into deeper levels with a high-speed rotary device like what you might use on your car to remove paint. And this allows the tattoo ink to leach out of the skin. The affected area is raw. You may get scarring again, and it's unpredictable. It's probably going to take several treatments to work, and it still may not work, and many offices don't even do it. Tattoos are meant to be permanent, and making a rash decision can be something that you have to live with for the rest of your life. You know, there's a guy I knew who had a winger tattoo. And what I mean by winger, if you had to be old, it was a really shitty rock band, kind of the Limp Bizkit of the 80s. And he got this tattoo, high up on his arm. And it was an embarrassing tattoo. It's like the person who gets like a dolphin jumping over a rainbow on a rock on their lower back. You don't really want to see there. Or maybe somebody who gets juicy right over their butt and then proceeds to gain 150 pounds and live up to that tattoo's reputation. Things that seem like a good idea at the time sometimes don't work out. Shifting gears for a moment, I want to take you back to 2015 and this article on the Mary Sue. Why Bitch Planet is inspiring women to get badass feminist tattoos. Now, if you might remember, this was 7 years ago. Bitch Planet was a comic by Kelly Sue DeConnick, and it was a sci-fi dystopian feminist comic based on the prison exploitation genre. In it, women who were deemed non-compliant, meaning they wouldn't go get a cigar for their husband or cook them a proper meal, were basically put in jail and branded or tattooed with the letters NC for non-compliant. The comic became a rallying cry for women who were too brash, feminist, opinionated, angry, fat, dark-skinned, queer, gender non-conforming, or, in a word, non-compliant. The comic encouraged women to send in photos of their non-compliant tattoo, which they did. Quote, "We live in a world where we are constantly labeled, and being able to label myself as non-compliant gives me free rein to live without worrying what people think of me and stop from being held to society's current standards and their labels. Getting the tattoo for me was me getting a permanent reminder of that," said Liesl Dittman, 22, a gender-fluid telecaptioning assistant and comic shop worker in Utah. Emily Mills, a queer woman in Madison, Wisconsin, and editor of the LGBTQ magazine Our Lives, calls her NC tattoo a badge of fucking honor. "My whole life has been me living unapologetically for who I am, and that has come with many, many consequences. People and institutions trying to shame me, punish me, dismiss me, or worse," Mills said. "It was a rare impulse decision for me, but one I don't regret in the least." Riot New Media's media group, Rebecca Jones Schnitsky, got hers after a, quote, super extra shitty week on the internet that involved excessive harassment and someone setting up a fake Twitter account to impersonate her. "It was so clearly intended to silence me. Addressing it head-on was scary, but I had to. That week, I became sure I wanted the non-compliant tattoo. In my life online, I've been branded all kinds of things. Bossy, snobby, know-it-all, uncooperative, bitch, slut, whore, and once, memorably, the #1 cunt. So I got the tattoo in order to have a mark of my own choosing. It's an acknowledgement that I know how some people perceive me and a giant middle finger to the suggestion that I should sit down, shut up, and stop acting like a lady. A dear friend and coworker who also deals with harassment online is a fan of the comic, and I went to get our tattoos together." The stories go on, and so do the picture. Women who are getting the non-compliant tattoo, both to express their liking and fondness for the genre of the comic book, and also to promote the idea that they too are non-compliant. To me, these are the sentiments it invokes. I am a non-compliant. My existence is non-compliant. My body is non-compliant. My gender will not be prescribed. My womanhood is fractured, but it is real and it is mine. She adds, "Imagine my middle fingers firmly raised while saying that for full effect," says Arya Burrell, a Calgary computer software engineer and activist whose NC tattoo includes the transgender symbol. Finally, Sarah Korn, a student and comic book shop clerk in Seattle, started saving for her tattoo after she read issue 1. Hers, too, is an original take on the logo, incorporating elements from DeConnick's Captain Marvel series. She sees it as a reminder of the strength it took to quit her high-paying job in the tech industry and carve a new path for herself. "I submitted myself to a decade's worth of curtailed ambition and gaslighting at the hands of the IT industry, allowing myself to be convinced that my emotionality, my sensitivity, and the tone of my voice disqualified me from respect," she said. "The non-compliant symbol on my arm represents my personal epiphany that exactly none of that is true. The NC reminds me to trust in myself and to rely in my empathy and exuberance as my greatest strengths." Unfortunately, the article notes, this entire process of getting tattoos did not go challenged. As quickly as the NC tattoo phenomenon took off, it sparked a backlash, mostly from men, in the form of concern trolling. As DeConnick explained in the back of issue number 4, certain unnamed, quote, gentlemen on Twitter, quote unquote, had gone on multi-tweet tirades about how these ladies ought to be careful because the comic is so new and the tattoos are so permanent. I saw that, and it made me laugh, said Jen Northam, events director for Riot New Media, who has a tattoo and recently did a survey of other women who have it too. Do they think I am unaware that the comic is brand new, or that it's not done yet, or that it could stop coming out tomorrow? How does publishing work? Please tell me. And the vaster point of the tattoo is it's for me. The next issue of Bitch Planet could never come out, or I could hate it, but that wouldn't change the fact that the first few installments have articulated something very important about feminism and have validated my experiences in a deeply meaningful way. DeConnick as well said, "This isn't about the book. I am finding my courage to be my authentic self, whomever he or she may be." It seems like you're missing a couple genders there, but I do not fit in the box assigned to me. I'm not too tall, too short, too fat, too thin, too loud, too soft, too silly, too serious, too masculine, too feminine, too passionate, too shy, too angry, too proud, too black, too brown, too devout, too atheist, too slutty, too frumpy, too gay, too whatever the fuck it is that my culture will condemn me for today, and I refuse to cede my power. Bitch Planet began in December 2014 and was published to April 2017 with 10 issues. It was followed by a 5-issue limited series published from June to October in 2017. Unfortunately, the 15 issues of Bitch Planet were eclipsed somewhat by the premiere of Orange is the New Black, a Netflix series that also tackled feminist topics in a prison. While the comic did continue despite the show getting the majority of the attention, it really wasn't the same after that. As for the tattoos, I'm sure that everyone is very happy with their decision and continue to be proud about supporting this book. If you're interested in tattoo removal, there are several sites and resources available for you online, but be aware it is a costly and time-consuming process, as I mentioned. So think before you mark.
Problem solved.
Thanks for listening.